Hi everyone, this is Rion Paper, and in today's video I wanted to take you with me through my adventures at the Dutch Pen Show of last Sunday. I wanted to also film some clips there on location, but it was super crowded, so I only managed to get a few shots because I found it too awkward to film there. But I'll just talk you through the day and So the Dutch Pen Show was held in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and I was very happy about that because I lived in Utrecht for more than 9 years, I think. So going there always feels like coming home. So that was fun. Like, I knew the way to the venue was super easy. You could get an early bird ticket to enter at 10, but I needed quite some time to travel by train. So I was like, I don't know if I want to get an early bird ticket and get up that early, actually. Like, there wasn't anything so specific that I really needed to be there, like, in the first hour. So it was fine. I was there at around 11. And yeah, just in general, I thought it was very well organized. It was super clear to see, like, where all of the stands were, like all of the tables. Who was where. It was very easy to find people, and in general it was just like, it was a very good venue for this type of event, and I really had a good time. It was quite overwhelming. I have never seen, this was my first pen show, and I have never seen so many fountain pens and so many fountain pen enthusiasts, for that matter, in one place, which was both very fun, but also a bit overwhelming, especially for a big introvert like me. I was very happy to meet some of the people of the Dutch Pen Club, and like just before I was leaving to catch my train back, I ran into Shauna from Serial Nana here on YouTube, which I didn't know if she was gonna be there, but like, I heard her voice. I didn't actually know what she looks like, but I heard her speak, and I was like, that sounds so much like her. So I'm just going to ask if that is her. Worst case scenario, I'm just talking to some random stranger who I don't know at all, and it'll probably be fine as well. But yeah, it was very fun to say hi just before I had to leave. And it was also very fun to talk to all of the vendors. I was so surprised that, like, it was so crowded, but people really took the time to answer your questions and show you all of the stuff that they had with them. And at no point did I feel like I was in a rush because there were so many people, which was really, really nice. So yeah, there were 2 big rooms, like one smaller room and one really big room. And I decided to, like, my game plan was to first just walk around and see everything. Just make around, browse what I want to browse, and just get a feel for who's there and what kind of products everyone has. And then I went outside, went for a little walk, bit of fresh air, and decide, like, what do I want to buy. I'd brought cash with me, so I could not go completely overboard, and I knew that I had the funds for one pen. And when I walked by, I knew beforehand that I wanted to visit the stand from Giant Pens, a small maker studio from the Netherlands. And when I walked by that stand the first time, I was immediately attracted to this pen. And then I waited a couple hours and I walked around, and every time I saw it, I was like, this is just gonna be the one. And I ultimately decided to just get it, and I'm going to show it to you. It's this gorgeous pen, and I'm so happy with it. The resin is from Jonathon Brooks. I asked Toon this morning on Instagram what it's called, because I forgot to ask that while I was there. And it's called the Elvenwood, which is a very fitting name. It has all kinds of shades of brown, from like a very light brown to an almost black, and it's shimmery and shiny. At first I thought there was like a bit of gold shimmer in there. I don't actually think that's the case. It's just like the light parts are just very, very shiny. And I love it. It's quite a big pen, but it's still very light, that's kind of how I like my pens. Like, it's very comfortable to hold without it being heavy. It has an extra fine nib, and I tested this yesterday with a bit of Pelikan Edelstein Smoky Quartz. Was a perfect fit. So I think I'm gonna ink this up like in just a bit with Dominant Industry Walnut, which is, not walnut, it's called Winterwood. The other one I was debating was Diamond Walnut, but I think I'm going to go with Dominant Industry Winterwood, which is a very dark brown, to try it out with ink for the first time. So I'll do that in a bit. I've not yet inked it up. But yeah, it's a beauty. And like, looking back, I'm really, really happy that even though many people looked at this pen, like Tone said that many people had held it and looked at it, that even like halfway through the afternoon, it was still there and I could still pick it up. Really, really happy about that. I also knew that I wanted to visit the table of Journal This. And Journal This is also a Dutch store. It's run by two wonderful ladies, one of whom I spoke to at the show. And they have a couple of inks. They are made for them, produced for them. And they don't say who makes them. But I think, like, if you look at the bottles, it's pretty obvious, I'd say. And I knew that I wanted to visit them because the inks are quite inexpensive, but they only have a small selection and they didn't really have that many other products that I was interested in picking up right now. So I had looked at their store online before, but I was like, am I going to pay shipping just for like 4 like smaller inks? And now I could just pick them up, without the shipping. So that was really great. I bought 4 colors. Gonna swatch them at the end of the video. One is a sort of leaf green color called Believe. All of them have this sort of pun-like names, which I like. This one's called Believe. This one is a mustard yellow called Must Art. This is a grayish light blue called Blue Tea. And then there's a taupe color that is called T apostrophe Hope, like taupe. I love that. Really, really nice colors. Also, thank you, I think, Shauna from Serial Nana, for like introducing me to this brand, because you talked about the pink, like they have a sort of old pink color called Pinked, and they didn't have it. It was already sold out at the show. But before Shauna named that in one of her videos, I had never even heard of this brand, and I'm really excited to try these out. And then the last thing I got was 3 small inks from Shanghai Stationery, and they make their own inks. These are completely handmade, and I'd seen them online, but I'd only seen the very big bottles, which are quite expensive, but they had like tiny 10 milliliter bottles with them, and I was going to buy 3, but it was really hard to choose 3 because they have like, I think 25-ish colors, and most of them are amazing. And if I like these 3, if I like how they behave, if I like their colors, I'm totally going to pick up some more. Maybe next year, maybe I'll have a chance before that. The one I definitely wanted was Deep River, which is a grayish blue. Again, I hope that it's different enough from Blue Tea. This is kind of one of my weaknesses, this color. If you're into inks for a while, you start to notice which colors you are always immediately drawn to. Then this is a gray color called Luhui, I think it's pronounced. Maybe not exactly. And Astrid, like one of the people from Shanghai Stationery, told me that that means ash in... I assumed it's Mandarin actually. I'm not sure. I have not confirmed that. But it means ash. That's why it's a gray color. And then we have a teal color called Nine Village Valley. And I'm really, really excited to try these out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink up the pen and get some swatch supplies, and then I can show you all of it. Also, before I forget, there were also some pens that I just wanted to have a look at for sort of as a reference for potential future purchases. Like I knew that they were too expensive to buy now, or that I didn't want to buy them now, but I just wanted to have a good look at their colors and how big or small they feel. And I'm really glad that I did that, because there were some pens, for example, the Leonardo Mosaico in sand and also the Leonardo Sorrento, that I actually didn't really like when I looked at them in person. There was also the Girasole and the what was it called? Yeah, at least the Girasole, that looks beautiful. I love the resin on that one. The Esterbrook ST Honeycomb is just as beautiful in person as I imagined it would be, so that one is definitely still on my wish list. I spoke to one of the representatives from Delta, and they didn't have their pens like for sale. It was like the person who imports like Aurora and Delta and Mayora, I think, from Italy. But he did have the Intesa in petrol with him. It wasn't on the table, but I just thought I can always ask. And apparently he had it in a case and he showed it to me. And I could confirm that I very much like that color, which I'm really happy about. And then I also wanted to look at the Tibaldi number 60 in amber. And I don't think I like that one as much as I thought I would. So I'm really glad that I got the chance to hold the pens, see the pens. I didn't try them, but most of them have like familiar nibs, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, that's like sometimes can be really hard to judge that by just a few pictures on the internet, or maybe a video if you're lucky. So I'm gonna grab some supplies and I'll be right back. All right, so I have inked up the pen. So let's do a little writing sample of that first. I don't know why I'm attempting writing in cursive. I never write in cursive. That's so weird. So yeah, the resin is Elvenwood by Jonathon Brooks. The model, I asked Zone and he said he normally doesn't name the models because each pen is unique. So I haven't written that down, and it has an extra fine nib. It doesn't write as thin as you may expect from an extra fine, but that may also be, that's probably because this is quite a wet ink. And I knew that beforehand. So this is what I was expecting. It writes super smoothly. Dern had already tuned the nib, so no weird surprises there. It writes like a charm, and I am going to love this pen. It's equally smooth in every direction. That is amazing. So then let's swatch some of the other inks, or actually all of the other inks. Let's start with the 3 by Shanghai Stationery. Let's put these to the side. Gonna take this. for a little swatch, and then my medium dip pen. That should work. And I'm gonna start with 9 Village Valley. Give it a little shake. That looks like a very pretty teal. I will also show the swatches once they're completely done, but even when wet, this shading looks super dramatic. I love that. You don't seem to see as much in the writing. There's a medium dip pen, so maybe in a broader nib, but in that swatch there is so much diversity in color in terms of like how dark or light it is. And then I'm gonna go for Deep River. This one is really pretty as well. It's, I think, a little grayer than I expected, a little less blue. It's also a little lighter than I expected, at least in the swatch. It looks a bit darker in the writing. But this is still very, very much a color I like. And then I'm gonna try the gray one. I'm only now realizing that I haven't really bought any like reddish or orange colors. I haven't bought any like purple or pinks either, but that's usually not really my color anyway. But I tend to be really drawn towards like warm orange, red colors, but I didn't buy any of those. So far, I can't really say anything about how wet or dry they feel. I think these are pretty middle of the road in terms of their dryness or wetness. This is a beautiful gray. I love a gray that has a certain grade of complexity to it. And this one definitely has that. I see some green, some blue. It's definitely a cooler gray, which I prefer over warmer grays. I'm really, really happy with my choice. But I don't think I could have gone wrong with any of their inks, to be honest. And then we go to the 4 inks from Jonathon. I'm going to start with the mustard yellow called Must Art. Let's actually use this pen to title the page and say Jonathon. That is a very cool mustardy color. I love that. It's more orange than I expected, but I'm here for it. That's also very legible for a yellowish ink. And then I'm gonna go for the green one called Believe. So look at the nice illustrations. There's the fountain pen on the side. I think it's like a ginkgo leaf as their logo. May have been because of how I dipped my dip pen, but the green one definitely feels a bit wetter than the yellow. It's a gorgeous color though. Really, these are really both quite unique in my collection, I guess. The green one seems to have a lot more shading going on. It's not really saturated, but it's also not that grayish. It reminds me a bit of Diamine's, what's it called? The Great Wall of China, which is a Copeland's exclusive. It's a bit like that, but a little bit more vibrant, a little bit greener, less gray. Then I'm going to go for the blue one called Blue Tea, which I supposed, I assumed was like a pun on the word beauty. I love this color. This is exactly what I hoped Ferris wheel press storied blue would look like based on the online images I'd seen. But that ink turned out to be a little disappointing for me. It was too light and too gray, and this one is that exact shade of blue. I love this. Like, these three colors are all three a win already. And then we have the taupe, the tea hope, which they describe as being not gray, not brown, not black, but like somewhere in between all those colors. So we'll see. This is, I'm kind of not in frame anymore, but whoops. This is also a really nice color. I think it would have been a bit too cold maybe for this pen. Oh, that actually could have worked. But yeah, these are the 7 ink colors that I picked up at the Dutch pen show. Not really anything like a cohesive color palette or a full rainbow spectrum, but all colors that I really, really like. I think from these, if I had to pick favorites now, I would probably say Blue Tea and Luhui. Those are colors that I feel like might have been missing from my collection. I'm also interested at how even the mustardy yellow color seems to be drying. It's really quite interesting. So yeah, thank you so much if you stuck around till the end. I'm just really still enjoying that the day after feeling of the fountain pen show. It was really fun. I will definitely be back next year if my schedule will allow it. And yeah, you will definitely see all of these inks and especially this gorgeous pen in my other videos. If there's anything you'd like to know about any of these products, or maybe any of the vendors that were there that maybe I've spoken to or that I've seen, feel free to ask in the comments below or send me a DM on Instagram. That's also always fine. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you were also at the Dutch pen show, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you I was gonna say if you saw me, but I still haven't done any videos with my face in it, so you probably didn't. Maybe I was standing right next to you and you didn't know it. Completely possible. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.